Did you say bears or just wolves? Earlier when he was talking to us.
This is the place. I'd searched all over Europe, but Bulgaria really stood out to me because of the fairy tale landscape, the remoteness of the hills and forest, the freedom and a way of living that seemed much more wild and traditional than I had experienced in the UK and other places in Europe. People living in basic rural lives, buying their food from the market, living in close-knit communities, less of a throwaway culture, making do and mending. This was the dream. 3 cottages in the middle of nowhere, a spring, 4 acres of land, plum trees, apple trees, walnut trees, a seasonal stream, surrounded by forests and fields in the central Balkans. I remember feeling giddy with excitement. With my girlfriend at the time, we bought it with the idea that it would be the perfect place to develop a remote permaculture smallholding. We would landscape and repair the roads first, and get the guest house up and running, grow food and keep some ducks, bees and pigs, and work in harmony with nature. I would earn money by then, running activities for my guests, exploring the mountains, foraging wild food, and camping out. And we could feed them food grown on the farm. Well, the reality was not so straightforward. Despite all the support of my friends and family, it was kind of hard to get anything done in Bulgaria, not speaking the language, especially down a slick dirt track in the middle of nowhere. And the guy with the digger never showed up for the first stage of groundwork. Money was running low after the first summer, with no promise of any income anytime soon. I made some bad choices, and found myself single with no job. I needed to go back to work in the West, as a handyman in the French Alps. For a few years I tried to balance earning money in the winter and driving out 2,000 kilometers to the property in Bulgaria during the summer. As the years passed, the property would spend more and more time abandoned. It seemed there was only enough time to clear back the overgrown land, clean the house of mouse poo and sort out the backlog of admin in the city before I had to drive back to work again. I had this idyllic vision in my 20s, developed by watching YouTube and reading loads of books on permaculture, rewilding, traditional and wilderness living. In my early 30s, it has started slipping away. And that really gets me down at times. It feels like such a waste of time and energy. I knew I wasn't able to build the dream permaculture smallholding if I could only be there occasionally.
That was all there ever was to it, just holding on to this property. It was like trying to hold on to water in my hands. It was just escaping me.
One thing I realized is that not giving up and failing share a lot of common ground. I put the property up for sale. It was a long 2 years to find a buyer. In the end, though, the sale went through. It was such a relief to be in a position to be able to do something different and to try a new strategy. I wanted to hold on to hope that I could build something beautiful in the wilderness. So, with the permission of my kind friend Dave, who has a guest house in the next village, I packed up my supply of building timber and assortment of bulky belongings which I'd accumulated to store in his barn until I could find a new, smaller project. My goals of having my own small holding one day haven't changed. I've just learned a lot about what's required, what will work and what takes time. After selling the property, I spent the rest of the summer with my girlfriend in Bulgaria, converting the Sprinter van into a cozy camper van. Together we started looking for a property again, but something much smaller and cheaper. A ruin to restore, with spring water and a barn, a smaller footprint. The aim this time would be to be more achievable and realistic. The oak beams, bit of superficial woodworm. So that starts next spring. In the meantime, I'd like to show you our Sprinter van build project and some of the Land Rover maintenance.
Walnut trees, big walnut tree.